Hey everybody, Matt here. There's going to be a little video, I don't know what I'm going to call it, about teachers and the education system. More about the education system, but the way in which it affects teachers and all that. Alright, here's the deal. My son comes home from school a couple weeks ago, and he's trying to tell me something. Now, I understand because I have a brain and common sense. I understand what he's trying to tell me. But he's using very clipped speech. I mean, it's almost like internet speak, but he's saying it instead of typing it, right? You know, he's missing key parts of what he's trying to tell me. Now, like I said, I understand what he's saying, but first, so I go up to him and I ask him, okay, slow down. You need to tell me what you're saying. He's like, well, I just did. I said, no, you need to explain it to me. I was like, because you need to treat me as if I don't know you and I don't know what you're talking about. Because if you went and said that sentence to someone else, they wouldn't know what the hell you were talking about, right? So repeat that back to me and think before you speak. You know, think what are you trying to get across to me? So he says again, he still get it right. I said, look, go back and remember back when you were in elementary school and they taught you the 5 W's plus H, right? And he goes, what's that? I said, oh, well, you probably know it as something else. I said, but it's, you know, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. I said, those are the things you're trying to get across to somebody when you're talking to them. And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, we never learned that. And I was like, you're serious? He's like, yeah, no, we never learned anything about that. He's like, you know, any of your teachers have ever told you about that stuff? No. I was like, look, I said, I got to explain this to you. Who, what, when, where, wow. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Those are the questions with which all communication is based. Verbal, nonverbal, every interaction you have with another human being, with another creature, everything you do, everything you read, everything you study, every test you take, every question, every problem you solve revolves around one of those 6 questions. Who, what, when, where, why, or how. Okay? Period. That is the essence of communication. You're either making a statement, asking a question, answering a question, something when you communicate that has to do with one or several of those 6 questions, right? Who, what, when, where, how, and why. So I tell my son this, and I was like, look, you need to ask your teacher about this kind of stuff. I was like, because you need to learn how to speak like an adult. You're almost 13 years old. You need to bring your skill level up. Don't talk like you're on the internet, all right? A few days go by, or actually more than a week goes by, my son comes home the other day and tells me, hey Dad, I just want to let you know, I talked to my teacher the other day about that stuff we talked about. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, well, the who, what, all the questions. I said, oh, okay, yeah. What'd your teacher say? He said, well, he kind of blew me off and like agreed and said, yeah, that's true. But he was acting like he was just whatever. He's like, but then the next day he comes in and he spent 30 minutes teaching class about those 6 questions. About the who, what, when, where, why, and how important they are in communicating with people. Now, when I have to tell my son something, and he tells his teacher, and then the teacher turns around and teaches the rest of the class, I think there's a problem. Because I also had an interesting interaction with my son a while back, where he was trying to figure out a math problem, calculus or algebra or something, right? And he's trying to get a number, and I explained to him, and I'm trying to help him with homework, and I suck at math. And so I'm talking to him, and I'm like, I said, well, how do you do this problem? He goes, well, you take this times this number, and then this divided by this number, something like that, and then get your answer. I said, oh, well, how does that work? Because I'm genuinely curious. How does doing that equate to the answer? And he goes, well, I don't know. That's just what the teacher told us to do. I was like, so you don't understand your equation. You just know that if you're faced with this kind of problem, you're supposed to answer it this way? Yeah, pretty much. I was like, you need to understand what you're doing. I said, you need to learn how to problem solve on your own, not just follow directions. And this is my point, guys. Our teachers have been trained by the education system. And I'm not bashing teachers at all, okay? I have 2 teachers in my family, and I have a niece who's about to become a teacher, okay? But our education system is set up to where it forces teachers to teach the test, and it forces teachers to teach kids how to follow instructions, how to follow orders, if you will, how to be good little drones and not think for themselves. It teaches them how to not ask questions, not question why. Why should I do it this way? What is the purpose of doing it this way? You know? It doesn't fully teach our children how to be individual, intelligent adults. Okay? It teaches them how to be follower drones. And I'm tired of it. I want everybody to go home and ask their kids if they truly understand why they have to answer certain math problems the way they do. If they truly understand what the solution is and what the formula means that they're being asked to use. Ask them if they know the who, what, when, where, why, and how of communication. Ask them if they understand that all intelligent, even unintelligent communication, verbal and nonverbal, among creatures of any species revolves around those questions. Answering questions, making statements. Ask your kids that and see what they say. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you watching. I know this is off topic from my guns and gear and stuff, but I thought it was important and wanted to put it out there. We'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks.